If you're a surplus military rifle enthusiast slash collector, this video is going to frighten you to your core. The curse of the Bubba SKS. How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Robert Arms. My name is Rob, and I'm the host of this channel. If you haven't subscribed already, you should go ahead and do so now, and check out my Instagram profile at Robert Arms Official for any updates regarding this channel. Anyway, the curse of the Bubba SKS. You know, I've always had a deep appreciation for simple, practical firearm design, and that's probably why I gravitate towards a weapon like the SKS. There's something really timeless about a rifle that does exactly what it's supposed to do. No more, no less, no unnecessary complexity or fragile gimmicks. Few rifles in the world really embody that philosophy better than the SKS. The SKS was designed to be built rugged, simple, and easy to mass produce. It shoots 7.62 by 39mm and feeds from a 10-round fixed magazine, and it's got a tilting bolt system that's incredibly robust. No detachable magazine to lose, no complicated controls, just a straightforward tool for the conscript or soldier. And I mean, it worked. Not just in the Soviet Union, but across the world. Countries like China, Yugoslavia, Romania, they all produced their own versions, millions of them. Then you fast forward a couple decades, and then these rifles all of a sudden start flooding into the United States as a surplus cheap military rifle. They're abundant, and sometimes they're only a couple $100 or even less than that. That's when things start to change. Because when you take a rifle that was designed with strict simplicity in mind, and you drop it into a market that was driven by customization, trends, and worst of all, personal expression, you get something very different. What you get is the American Bubba SKS. All of a sudden, that clean utilitarian design starts to get upgraded. If you have a nice wood stock, some people do away with it and just go with a black polymer chassis with a folding stock or some bullcrap like that. Fixed magazine? Screw that. Let's get a unreliable detachable magazine that looked like it was designed by a kindergartner. Or what about the classic iron sights? No, let's get a Chinesium optic mounted on a very questionable rail mount. Or in some cases, is that JB Weld? Then the bayonets come off, the barrel lengths get altered, stocks get cut, drilled, painted, reshaped. What was once a cohesive, purpose-built system turns into a patchwork of aftermarket parts. And here's the irony of that. Most of those modifications don't actually improve the rifle. In many cases, it just makes it worse. The SKS was engineered to be a complete system for all the parts to work together in conjunction of each other as originally intended. You change one element of that, something like the magazine, the stock, or the dust cover, and mess with those tolerances and geometries, and you introduce all kinds of issues like feeding, poor ergonomics, or loss of zero. Here in the US, firearm ownership often overlaps with a really strong DIY, do-it-yourself culture. People like to personalize their gear and make it their own, experiment and tinker, kind of like what I do, to a certain extent. And when a rifle is really cheap and plentiful, it becomes the perfect candidate for that kind of experimentation. I mean, you gotta think about it. We're talking about a time when ARs were definitely not just a couple $100, but these were, and they were coming in the droves. Historically, this is true with a lot of military surplus rifles back in the day that were sporterized for hunting use. The SKS, like many of those plentiful guns, basically became blank canvases for a lot of those people. But unfortunately, that canvas often ends up in what military collectors would call massive mistakes. Today, original unmodified SKSs are becoming more appreciated, especially by collectors who recognize the historical and mechanical value of the design. Meanwhile, those heavily modified examples are often worth less than their original counterparts, despite the money that was put into them. It's kind of a strange full circle moment. A rifle that was built on simplicity, altered in the pursuit of improvement, only to remind people why the simplicity worked in the first place. Let's analyze a couple of examples of cursed Bubba SKSs based on their severity. So now we're jumping into the Bubba stuff. So this is a typical modern SKS build that you see in a lot of video games and gun shows that are typically selling these as modern SKSs, right? This is a Tapco stock that's on a presumably Russian or Chinese SKS. I mean, you can't really tell at this point. And it's got an AR style stock on it with a 249 style pistol grip. The magazine looks removable. It's probably one of those Pro Mag ones that's got those stupid front lips on them. Some rail mounts, and it has a latch-on front lug muzzle device that wraps around your front iron sight. So yeah, this is your typical Bubba modern SKS. It is what it is. I just would not pay the money they often ask for these kind of things. You know, they're everywhere and they're super common. And this is probably the most typical Bubba SKS you often find. So off the rip here, we have this cursed looking SKS already. Here we go. So there is a chop down barrel here that I see a lugged muzzle device on the front. Looks to be like some sort of a muzzle brake or something in front of the iron sight. And going further down, they got the heat shield, upper handguard, and the stock looks to me to be a hunting rifle stock that was heavily modified to fit this SKS receiver, just based off of the pistol grip, the cheek rest, and the butt plate. Yeah, this is definitely not a traditional SKS stock. And below it, I see a mag catch for a AKM pattern magazine well, with what looks to be a drum mag already there. I can also tell with context clues based off of the 5 AK pattern magazines in the background, along with a loaded drum mag. And looking at the carpet on the floor here, yeah, this might not actually be in the United States. This could be in some faraway land where a lot of fundamentalist values are heavily enforced. Flash, I'm back. I've got a different look right now. I was out doing some shooting, and we're back. So let's look at the next image here. So this one, oh wow, looks very cursed. So there's a lot of things going on here, and the first thing I notice is the wood varnish on this weapon looks completely different from a traditional SKS. That looks like birch, or they just scrape the finish off and just it just looks like raw wood to me. It looks like they also modified it to be able to have a pistol grip, which looks like a 249 style pistol grip. And the magwell looks cut to only take AK pattern magazines, or that could be a totally different style of magazine. I don't really see a mag catch there. Looks like rail mounts are drilled into the wood furniture on the bottom and the top handguard, and it looks like they have a very questionable red dot mounted on there, and the barrel looks threaded on the end. Yeah, so this definitely is a example of some Bubba work here. Ah, the infamous Bullpup chassis SKS. So this is a pretty interesting one. I've seen a lot of big YouTubers do videos on some of these, and I've actually personally shot one. A kind gentleman at the range let me try out theirs. Obviously, the one I actually shot ended up jamming on me on camera. Now, needless to say, people can set up their weapons any way they want. This video is just kind of poking fun of the absurdities of it, from a purist point of view, right? I'm not trying to dog on anybody for having this stuff. This is just for fun, right? It's just fun exploration. But anyway, let's look at the actual design of this chassis system and just kind of observe what they're trying to do here. So it looks like they're trying to minimize the overall size of the SKS, conform it into a more compact package while still using many of the same mechanisms of the original weapon, right? So we have a totally different trigger system here, totally different safety mechanism, more rail mounts, and it looks like there's a dust cover system that's supposed to keep the action protected from contaminants and stuff like that. And, it's going for a very modern approach. And of course, the ability to take detachable magazines in the rear. I find this problematic for all kinds of reasons. This stuff definitely affected feeding. The trigger system felt really most bullpup triggers kind of suck anyway. And the SKS trigger is really nothing to call home about to begin with. So, like, this setup definitely did not help with that. And honestly, if you want a bullpup, you might as well just save up the money and actually buy a Bullpup design like the AUG, or if you're a big baller, the F2000. But there's not a lot of affordable Bullpups out there, so I guess this is the approach that people take when it comes to trying to get one, building it out of an SKS. But yeah, no, this is Bubba written all over this. So for this last category of Bubba's, we're gonna just call it the Geneva suggestion. This is just the stuff that is just so absurd that it should just not happen to an SKS, and you're basically altering the gun so bad to the point where it's just completely unrecognizable. So our first image here, oh my god, there's a lot to take in here. So I really can't tell what SKS this is. It looks like it's got AK style front sight, and rear sight looks AR-ish on a rail mounted dust cover. Oh god. And the stock looks custom made. It's a thumbhole stock. Kind of throws off the whole profile of the SKS. And of course, AK pattern mags being fed through this thing. The gas block looks weird. Threaded barrel. Definitely not the worst I've ever seen, but this is just, this is just cursed. So our next one here is pretty crazy. We've got a normal looking Serbian SKS, and then below it is a very not normal looking SKS. So it looks like they took a chunk of a FAL and combined it with an SKS. It's like a Frankenstein build. Like, this is crazy. So it's got FAL style furniture in the rear here, along with a FAL rear sight and, a part of its original receiver. And then inside, you can see the bolt and barrel and gas block of a normal SKS built onto a weird looking handguard. And the only thing that would look somewhat normal to that is the upper heat shield handguard. And then it looks like it takes normal AKM magazines. Yeah, this is crazy. Speaking of crazy, our next image here is pretty much just as bad. So it looks like we've got what mostly looks like a normal SKS until you start looking at the more obvious signs of Bubba treatment here. So the entire rear end of the stock is currently gone and replaced with some sort of a hinged wire folding stock. Yeah, this is not good. And of course, it takes some sort of a polymer SKS pattern magazine. Yeah, like, dude, you really bubbled this one real bad. Yeah, this is definitely a Geneva suggestion. And then our last one here is the infamous JB welded ACOG. Yeah, this is probably the most atrocious level of bubbing an SKS I've ever seen in my life, possibly. I don't even know how you can even hold zero with this. You know, it's almost just as bad as the one SKS from the Trump golf course. If you know, you know, right? The zip ties and all. Like, why? Like, why would you? You know, what thought were you putting into doing this other than just, you know, they had to do this for a joke. This has to be a joke. There's no way someone logically thought you could hold zero with something like that using whatever they had that day. So that was the curse of the Bubba SKS. If you guys enjoyed this video as much as I did, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And if you haven't already, check out my Instagram profile at RobberArmsOfficial for any updates regarding this channel. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, stay safe, and I hope to see y'all in the next video.